It's going to be a battle of the ages. I'll tell you that much. So this is just a rumor, a theory, a film theory, and cut. A film theory, if you will. So grain of salt, whole bag of salt. I don't care. Just they're not until anything's proven. We can just theorize, But they did say that. Oh well, it's been rumored that David Tennant is coming back to Doctor Who for the 60th anniversary, and that he'll appear in episodes and blah blah blah, and it happened. So, just because it happened once or twice doesn't mean it's always going to happen. But we'll talk about it as if it is. But exclusive. Alleged plot leaks reveal Jody Whitaker will be returning to Doctor Who at the end of the season. Oh boy, because I can't wait to see these doctors talk about who's more oppressed than the other. Technically, it would be Kudigawa's doctor, because not only is he black, he's gay. So, Jody Whitaker, sorry, you might be a woman, but he's got you beaten in the oppressed Olympics. So it's going to be a short. I mean, unless you can come out with a claim of why you're more oppressed than he is. But reproductive rights. That's really nothing compared to what he'll say about, oh well, we were enslaved and it's hard for me to be myself because I'm a gay man. So when it comes to the special oppression Olympics, because it is a special time, Nikudigawa's he's got you beat hands down. He's taking home the gold. But valiant effort. We applaud already. We applaud you because we know you're going to give it all you've got, because you certainly gave everything you got when you portrayed the Doctor. Doctor Who has been in major trouble, and an alleged insider has posted rumors of the forthcoming plot of the BBC that indicate Jodie Whittaker will be returning, making a return to Doctor Who by the end of the season for the ultimate double down in DEI solidarity, among other alleged plot leaks that will leave fans reeling. They're going to pull a Chris Chinballs and do another freaking, timeless child bull crap. Russell T Davies has turned Doctor Who into a woke monstrosity since returning to the show. His first act, even as he trotted out David Tennant to get fans nostalgic, was to create a new character of a black transgender named Rose, because you hear Rose and what do you think of? Rose Tyler, the good Rose. The beloved companion that people were devastated by, when we didn't get to see her anymore. That Rose. But no, instead make way for this Rose. Just to fling in the face of viewers that everything would be changing. In those episodes, the Doctor was lectured about being a male-presenting Time Lord, and perhaps the biggest insult to British culture came when Sir Isaac Newton was cast as an Indian man, despite being historically inaccurate. They don't care about being the BBC in general doesn't care about being historically inaccurate anymore. Anne Boleyn was historically a white woman. Now let's just cast her as black. Why? For reasons. Everyone was black. You see it on Twitter all the time. Emperors were black, shoguns were black, kings were black, the pharaohs were black. Everyone was black. Just trying to rewrite history, trying to gaslight people like, oh, and if you don't believe it, you're a fucking racist. Despite the fact that, archaeological digs have proven otherwise. No, everyone was black. Everyone was black. The Vikings were black. Everyone. The first rulers of England were black, despite the fact that they clearly weren't. But BBC is clearly trying to change history. But with Rose, so I have to keep saying this because people need to understand the absurdity of this. So Rose, not the nice Rose, not the sweet Rose, the other Rose, Donna Noble's daughter Rose, is a biological man pretending to be a woman. Now, at the end of the episode, this man who is pretending to be a woman lectures the Doctor, saying that he's a male presenting Time Lord and that he doesn't understand the struggles of being a woman. Now, this is being told to him by a biological male, when the Doctor, who is now David Tennant's Doctor, when the Doctor previously, before the Doctor became David Tennant's Doctor, you had Jody Whitaker. You had Jody Whitaker's Doctor, who was a woman. But there's a biological male lecturing the Doctor about not knowing the struggles of a woman. That is the absurdity of Doctor Who now. And if they cared about logic or anything, it wouldn't have been said. But no, it's to push a message, because the writers know that the Doctor was previously a woman, and that it's absurd for a biological male to be lecturing the Doctor about struggles of women when the person doing the lecturing has a fucking dick. They know it's absurd, but they're pushing a message. And then they wonder why people are tuning out. At the end of the Tennant Return, Davies invented bi-generation to show how Gatwa came from the Doctor. This was a clear pun trying to send a message to the Doctor Who fans, where he riffed on bi-generation or bisexual generation. The show became worse from there. God was an iteration of the Doctor, emasculated the character with him crying nearly every episode, while his companion was the one who solved the problems, because nothing screams the Doctor quite like crying like a fucking pussy. Every episode, that is peak Doctor. You know, don't you remember all the times that Christopher Eccleston's Doctor cried, and David Tennant and Matt Smith? Yeah, they were crying all the... Peter Capaldi, God, that guy was a blubbery mess, but not this one. They were all crybabies. No, the Doctor really doesn't cry. He's had moments where he might tear up, but, you know, like the Doctor after he lost Amy and Rory, when the Doctor lost Rose, there was a moment where with the episode the Girl in the Fireplace. I mean, he's not sad, but he's very somber. So he's not like a blubbery mess, and he doesn't do it every episode. Very rarely do you see the Doctor cry. But no, instead he's like, I don't know what to do. And then the companion's gotta be, I'll tell you what to do. Stop being a fucking pussy. You're the freaking Doctor. Act like one. Solve the problems. An episode left his companion to go make out with another man. You know, again, think of all the times that Christopher Eccleston, Matt Smith, David Tennant, and Peter Capaldi left their companions to go make out with someone. Oh, that's right, it didn't happen. But it's just like the Doctor. It's the New Age Doctor. They're trying to get people, the younger generation, who are into that sort of thing, who don't care about loyalty or you know, it's like, oh, you do you. Oh, yeah, slay queen. That's what they're going for. The first episode of the show, attacking white men, even with the language planet of the incels, they keep using that word. I do not think it means what they think it means. But it just proves once again, these fucking people who claim to be college educated and intelligent don't know what the words they're using mean. Incel does not mean what they think it means. It doesn't. So every time you call incel, now look up the definition of incel. You'll find that pretty much every person these people call incel aren't even an incel. But once again, it just shows that they don't care. It's like a fucking child learning a new word. They just want to use it as much as possible. Made it clear where Davies stood with old Doctor Who fan base. And when you have something like right now, where it's basically just a message that the only people who are watching are already agreeing with, because that's pretty much all that's left at this point. The only people watching the show are the ones who agree with the message. You know, if you like it, great. Whatever. I'm so sick and tired of hearing, you don't know what you're talking about. I like the show. Well, good for you. Okay? You're not making, like, you liking the show isn't making it, isn't getting the viewers. The fact that we're down to 2 million or less viewers when David Tennant alone was pulling in, what, 10, 11 million? We didn't have streaming back then. No, it was, and he was 10 million, 11 million viewers. So if you like it, great. Some people like freaking getting pissed on during sex. Doesn't mean the majority does. So just because you like it doesn't make it good. So I'm glad you like it. I get so sick and tired of people saying, oh, you're just a stupid fat incel. I loved it. I thought it was great. Good for you. Pat yourself on the back. Go jerk yourself off. And why don't you get like 100,000 more, paid subscriptions to the other, the same service on different accounts and watch it 100,000 other times and get those views up. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. I think it's great. Good for you. I'm glad. Again, some people like to be pissed on during sex. Sometimes some people like to be choked. Some people like freaking ketchup on their freaking peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So just because you in particular like it doesn't mean it's the majority. Clearly the views are going down. The viewership is not what it used to be. When they're getting less than 2 million views. But sure, keep telling me that the viewership is great. Because you watched it, because you like it. Just people lack the common sense to realize that them liking something doesn't make it popular. Doctor Who expert the Whovian, expert star Whovian on Twitter posted that he had learned that hated female doctor Jody Whitaker, arguably the beginning, no, it kind of started with Peter Capaldi's final season, which Peter Capaldi, this freaking sexy man right here. It started with him at his. Speaking of, did you know Bill Potts was gay? I know. Crazy, right? Because we weren't told at all that Bill Potts, the black female companion of the Doctor, was in fact gay. Jodie Whittaker will be coming back to the show along with several other leaks on the several other leaks on plot details that fans won't be happy with, and we have to pay for it, or start trial. No, rumors inside, blah blah blah, but don't care about those. The fact is, Jodie Whittaker, that's the bigger one. Why? No one liked her. And I think some people, even if they didn't like her, they're so into the whole brownie point type thing and the pandering that they force themselves to say they like her just so they can say, oh, she's a strong woman. She's the best doctor that there's been so far. She is fierce. She's the queen. Even if they don't really believe any of that crap. But it's basically the oppression Olympics here. It's going to be the oppression Olympics. Who has it worse, the female or the gay black dude? Again, he got you beat, Jody, because yeah, woman, but he's gay, and he's black, so. Now, if you can prove that you're part black, then you might have a fighting chance. You might have a small fighting chance if you can do a DNA test and prove that you're black. But God was doctors got you beat. So I don't think, you're coming out on top here. Although it might end up with you coming out on top since, he's a crying pussy, so he's most likely a bottom. Anyway, Jody Whitaker, guys. Jody Whitaker. The bestest doctor ever. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.